Welcome to today's session on education and training. We'll continue where we left off. We will, in this session, our objectives are, number one, to identify the details of referral points, to describe the referral points, what each of these entails, what their roles and purposes are. It's from that perspective we're going to cover this lesson. And I trust that by the end of this session, you'll be able to identify, number one, the referral points, the details you'll be able to describe, and probably some areas of procedures in how you can actually refer to any of these referral points. But one thing I would say is that each institution you're working for would tell you exactly the procedures they follow for you to escalate a matter or just to refer certain things. So follow me slowly, and I'm going to look at the presentation which is right in front of us. And in doing this, I want each one of you to listen very carefully. You may pause this resource and do some bit of research on areas that you find difficulties to understand, or play back. That's the advantage of online learning and a virtual learning environment. You have control. Thank you very much. Now let's proceed and have a look at what we are covering today. We are going to look at the following. I beg your pardon, let me just go back one slide. We are going to look at the following, which is the referral points, the line manager, teaching support staff, security department, pastoral care, social services, GP, Citizens Advice Bureau, probation service, awarding organization. So in this whole arrangement, we will look at what point do you need a line manager, and what does a line manager do, and also teaching support, what does it entail. I'll probably start with the line manager. The line manager is, as a professional teacher, the line manager is somebody who is in charge of your department or the section of your arrangement in terms of teaching. And the line manager is responsible for planning and organizing. Your line manager in your college or learning environment or wherever you're going to be placed as a trainer or as a teacher, the line manager who is looking after you has the duty to plan and organize. They will inform you the requirements. They will inform you of duties that you are expected to perform on, or daily objectives, or weekly objectives, or monthly objectives, how the course must run, milestones, when to submit, what sort of marks at what time, the style, the fashion in which to do these things. Your line manager will do this. And a referral point in terms of you and your students. Remember, in our earlier discussion, we were saying, I'll just recap very quickly, we were saying that the biggest relationship is between who, I just use this color, is between who, it's between you, which is, I'll just beg your pardon, it is between you, the tutor, here, and student relationship. That is the, I beg your pardon, I think I'll just get that back. We're working with technology, I'll just take that back. Okay, let's have this back. We'll carry on now, we won't edit this bit. That is that is the relationship we're looking at. Tutor-student relationship. If you look at the tutor-student relationship, you find that everything we're talking about here has to, in effect, influence that relationship. So your line manager will be very important to you in your teaching journey. Very critical. Always find out what they want, find out what's to be done, find out any changes. And when you are teaching, sometimes you find yourself working with a support or teaching support staff. Teaching support staff, sometimes they're called as LSA, learning assistants, and they come in different forms. So, learning assistants are very important. Sometimes they can just be there to be able to support their students with certain areas of need, so learning disabilities or other issues, or simply scribing. All these learning assistants, as a professional, you must work with them. Let me just quote some of the things that other learning assistants say in their job role. This handout, it will be there on your online. You can download it and use it. Let's have a look at some of the things learning assistants say. Or learning, it's the primary remit of the learning assistant is to support individual students. So, individual students will be identified who need that support. It may not be everybody. And aid them in overcoming learning barriers. When the word learning barrier is mentioned, it simply means there's something that will always prevent a candidate from learning effectively. If that barrier did not exist, a barrier could be they're unable to write by themselves. So somebody must be able to scribe. So that learning assistant will be able to do that job. And also supporting individuals with specific education needs. Having just been sort of placed in the classroom, they might have maybe emotional problems because of the past. So there's need for a learning assistant to be present to help in that area. It could be anything, but what's critical is that you as a professional teacher must know when to actually tell your line manager that you need a learning assistant or learning support staff in your classroom, because at initial assessment you identify this candidate as able to do this, but actually the reality of the matter is that we need somebody to come and assist. Because students at times, when you're doing initial assessment, they don't tell you everything. Sometimes they come with friends who probably have got certain abilities which they don't have, and they want to put up a front as if they're able to do that. Fair enough. You only record the information they tell you at initial assessment. But when you begin to develop lesson plans, you put them in a category based on what they told you, or if they did not come with a statement, you cannot do nothing about that. You assume what they told you is correct. But as the lessons proceed, you can notice that actually there is need here. You can take them for reassessment. So refer now to your line manager, who might now refer and bring in a correct or right learning or assistant person in the classroom. So this is how you as a professional tutor, you find yourself working with other professionals. Let's look at another line here. We have the security department. What is the role of the security department? If you look at the handout, which is in your learning account, you would find a description of these services. Let's go and find the security department. We can cite some examples. The main reason for a security department, maybe it could be a school or college, is to look at the safety and security of the students. Basically, the welfare of students. Okay, it will involve prevention, response, recovery, and promoting safety and security for the students, staff, and the community. What does it mean? There will be issues which are outside your remit as a professional tutor. For example, somebody has become violent, or somebody has stolen something, or staff feels insecure around certain candidates because of what they've done. Therefore, the security department must come in. You must refer that to the security department through your line manager or according to your policy in that organization. The purpose of this security department is that those people who are qualified, trained to handle such matters will do it professionally and within the law. But if you try to do it as a professional tutor, you exceed your boundaries. Remember the professional boundaries to talk about in the other session? It comes into play at all times. So if you feel the security department must be involved in a matter regarding a candidate in your classroom, do so without hesitation. But of course, you must let your line manager know or follow the policy of your learning institution. So these departments are very important. But before we proceed, I just want us to look at this one aspect. I'll just demonstrate on that bit. Bear with me. How referrals work. You see, let me do that one. Yes. If you look at, let me just pause there. Yes, if you look at this signpost here, you can go this direction or that direction. There must be a reason for choosing the signpost. So reasons must be number one, valid. Must be valid. It must be a valid reason why you want to make a referral. And of course, one of the things you're supposed to is to promote safety. We're talking about the security department, promote safety, not victimization. Because if you don't do this properly, a candidate might feel as if they're being victimized. This, you must avoid this at all costs. Avoid this at all costs. So when you come to a stage where you feel there is need for you to actually refer a matter, it's very important. I want to emphasize this. It's very important that a candidate actually doesn't feel a real sense of victimization. This is very important, because if you are in a classroom and you feel that you are always victimized, you actually create another learning barrier in the life of a candidate. So it's very important when you choose to involve other professionals that a candidate who is under the circumstance must actually be made aware of why this is being done and the expected outcome. The expected outcome must be to resolve the matter for the sake of safety and to see that the candidate and other people learn in a safe environment. Very important. That's about the security department. Another area we can look at is the following: the pastoral care. Pastoral care. What's a role of the pastoral care? What is the role in there? A pastoral care, if you look at the handout which I've prepared for you, and I'd like you to get used to using the handouts, you discover that actually the role of a pastor, in this case, let me just get rid of that. The role in this case of the pastoral carer, if you refer to the handout very clearly, I just want you to make sure that you've got all the materials that you need. If you look at the role of the pastoral carer, what is it that they should be doing really? Let me just go to the pastoral care. What is the... Yes, pastoral care. I just want us to look at that. A pastoral support carer is meant to help a child or a candidate to improve their social, emotional, and behavioral skills, and also involves counseling and listening to the candidate. So it's a holistic thing which eventually is aimed at improving the learning skills or the comfort of the candidate to be able to learn in that environment. Sometimes you find that when candidates are faced with issues, they are not many possibilities that a candidate wants to confide in their own personal tutor. They probably want to go and speak to somebody else. This is why pastoral care has become very important in our English systems in the United Kingdom. A pastoral department is there, open for use, and then you can actually find that candidates can talk over issues and their emotional well-being is looked after in that environment. And when they come back to classroom, they are able to perform very well. So as a profession tutor, you should know when to refer a matter to a pastoral carer. We'll continue, and I'll pause a little bit here to just reflect on these areas. Pause the video at this point in time, look at the examples that you've had of yourself in the time past, and peradventure, you can use them to create a mind map or what other things you can look at under pastoral care. I'll see you in a bit.